Okay, we're here with Chris Spradley. My name is Justin, and this is Stefano. We are the pastors of Chiesa La Piazza here in Budrio, and we just finished a week of evangelism and outreach events as a church in the city here that we minister and live in. And we wanted just to take a couple of minutes to speak to Chris about his experience here with us and his team's experience. And so we wanted to break this interview, you could say, down to a couple of points. And the first point I wanted to ask you, Chris, was how you felt about reaching out with the schools and ministering with the students. So as a church, we spent a couple of days ministering in both middle and high schools, sharing about the theme of Thanksgiving and tying that with how we're thankful to God for what Jesus Christ has done for us. What did you think about that, Chris?
Well, first of all, I thought it was fun. I mean, every time I get around kids, I turn into one and I start having fun. And there's a joy in children, and I really love that, and I appreciate that. Coming into this context where you have students that want to learn English, and they have a fascination with America and Americans, and so coming over here, and they want to ask questions, and they want to know about your life, and I want to know about theirs, and so just having that opportunity is kind of incredible. It's just not something you would expect. In America, we have such a segregation that the opportunity to come and share life with some students in a school setting with teachers that want you there, it's just really exciting. It was a very cool experience.
And I think also for us as a church, was the very first time that really we were able to reach every generation. And so for the first time, we were invited to go to the elderly citizen center and ministering to them. And also we spent one afternoon at a hub for underage asylum seekers. So really different generation, different cultures, different contexts, and being able to share the gospel. What do you think about that, Chris?
Well, I'll tell you what I really like about this is that we essentially spent the week ministering to those that are often forgotten or neglected or ignored. Children are given little priority in most people's lives. Immigrants are just, who cares? We don't want them. Elderly people are forgotten. We got to spend a week ministering to all of those groups, and that is just amazing. And then on top of that, we got to spend, the week ministering to people that do know Christ, to people that don't know Him, people that just also have a fascination with the American culture. And I mean, you're right. I don't know how you guys managed to put this together, but we hit every group. We hit the outcasts and we hit the favorites. We got to talk to everybody, and I'm amazed. A lot of joy for me.
So tied to your answer, I just want to ask you very quickly, how was your expectation changed in relation to maybe what normally typically Christians think about ministering in a missional context in a first world country like Italy?
Well, I think first off, for me, even though we had multiple conversations with you, there was a very grand sense of the unknown. I haven't been here before. I mean, I've been in a foreign culture before, but everyone's a little bit different. And so just not really knowing what to expect. Now, for me, there was a certain, I don't want to call it comfort, but it made it to where I didn't hold on too tight, because I didn't know what was going to happen. And so I needed to say, okay, let's let this flow. Let's come serve and let God do what God's going to do. I think if anybody ever truly wants to understand the colloquialism, let go and let God, they should go on a mission trip.
Yeah.
Because that's how you learn.
I'm
not going to learn this in Houston.
And then I was thinking also, the opportunity we enter, not only in every generation, but in different contexts. So we had a conference in the cultural setting of Budrio, and again, we had a lot of different people to came to that. And for the first time, young people coming to a conference. Yeah. And then Thanksgiving meal on a Saturday, where lots of families, and the vice mayor came. The higher people and the lower one were all together, sharing food together. And for me, the things really challenged me most was the comment of a lot of people. They didn't talk about the food, but about how Chris shared his faith with them.
And you know what's really cool is the full range of people. I can just see, we talked about Jesus and dining with Jesus, a meal with Jesus. You can see Jesus walking into that room and feeling very comfortable with sitting down with that group of people. And I think that's a great thing. The fact that I was able to share my testimony and do so in the context of thankfulness and thanksgiving was really amazing to me. And it shaped more of my appreciation. I leave here more thankful than I came. I really do.
Also, too, I think what was challenging as well, not just for Italians here in Budrio in our church, but also for, as Americans, also those that have come from Sojourn Heights, just realizing that maybe we spend so much time in a very social context where it's comfortable for us, and that we're not challenged to actually get out of that social context and maybe enter into, like you said, those who maybe are deemed as outcasts in our society. So I think that even as an American personally, I find that extremely challenging for me to exit out of the people with whom I'm most comfortable with and hang out and minister to and listen to and bear with people of another social class and social structure.
So, yeah, I would say thanks ever so much for what you've done. I think we never had a team that covers so many areas of ministries with us, and even concluded with the Sunday service, for them playing and singing in Italian at our service, and Chris sharing God's words from Luke's Gospel and challenging people. And Justin, with so many visitors this Sunday.
That was amazing for us. Also, Steph and I, now that we've been doing this for a few years now, seeing how the Lord, how His Spirit is able to not just touch the hearts of people that are being ministered to on a daily basis through projects and through things that we plan for, but also being able to see it firsthand in the gathering of His church and of His people. The word proclaimed, there's a response to that word, and we're seeing people eventually coming to Christ as a result of it.
And I think also we obviously saw God move in this week, but I can look back at the organization of this trip. I mean, we started talking about this a little over a year ago, and seeing how God brought the people that He wanted to be here and the gifts that they were each bringing to the trip, the personalities that they brought to the trip, and the work He needed to do in me and in the others in the trip, and how we all uniquely fit. I mean, how God did what God does. It is just truly amazing when you can look back and you can say, wow, I'm amazed at how God made all that work. And you and I talked more than a few times this week about God using things in our lives that we thought had no possible use. Like, I look back with the immigrants, the point of time that I had lost my job and didn't have a place to live, and needed help, even just having a meal. That tied right into what the immigrants are going through. That is not a period of my life that I look back and go, oh, God can use that. Yeah. And He does. So I think for me, I look at this and I say, we're going to have difficult times. But let's not look down upon the difficult times with disdain, but as moments when we're able to trust in God a little bit more, lean into His people a little bit more, and know that somewhere down the road He's going to find a way to use that experience.
And I just want to thank Stefano and Ginny and just all of our church people here for their patience this week, for their ability to serve and to listen and to put forth their talents and giftings that God's given us. And then I also want to just thank Sojourn Heights for being a part of this movement, being a part of this partnership here in Italy, here in northern Italy, here in Budrio, in a very small village, a very rural context, a context that usually isn't the most sought after when it comes to church planting, but Sojourn Heights understands the call and understands what the Lord is calling us to. So thank you for that as well.
Yeah, thanks ever so much.
Thank you.